So, okay, dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. So once we get connected with the other network, we're ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you focus into the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully Enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to understand how this meditation can help for us to develop our inner clarity. So when it comes to meditation, here we mainly practice two mental cultures, two mental practice methods. So the one is tranquility meditation, and other one called vipassana meditation or the insight meditation. So tranquility meditation, the Pali word we call the samatha, and the insight meditation we call vipassana. Those are very classical words. So when it comes to tranquility meditation, the very purpose of that practice, develop a very undisturbed mind. So once you have the undisturbed mind, from there, the very nature of the vipassana mind, it takes you to deeper level to understand our own inner experience. So understanding inner experience, why it is necessary? Because as you know, you just respond to your thoughts. You don't know from where it comes. You just know it as once it appears as a thought. But remember this and listen very carefully and try to get it. Before your thoughts appear, underneath, somewhere in unknown region in your body, it keeps generating. But you don't see. You see when it appeared. So as example, you can say, oh, I like it. Oh, I feel so happy. I am sad. I am worried. I am angry. You see only the anger. You see only the happy moment. You didn't see from where it came. So in the Vipassana level, so even the tranquility level, you can't see it. That is the most important part when it comes to the Vipassana meditation. So nowadays, as meditation, most of people try to maintain the thoughts rather than seeing from where it is a two different behavior, character, methods. Just maintaining thoughts. You can name it as a meditation and you can do many things. But the Vipassana meditation is a totally different way of method, practice, pattern. It's go into deeper to see from where it comes, see the origin. So that is the very purpose of the meditation. So go into that to see that the beginning, as example, the feelings. So sometimes maybe you feel something back on your head and maybe you just react, that's it, but you didn't see the beginning of it. So the beginning of your feelings, sensation. So the beginning of your thoughts. So the beginning of your all the reactions. So Vipassana level take you to that, and that is where you recognize how this happens. That is where you really understand the causation. So go into that, you need a one tool. So that tool we call the mindfulness. So the mindfulness is the method that take you to the depth and allow you to see how these things arise. And not only the arising, and how this exists and how this disappear. How the feelings or the sensation or the thoughts, how this everything arise and exist for a while and then how it disappear. To see this, you need the mindfulness. Without mindfulness, you can't see it. So the very purpose of this whole meditation practice, we try to develop the mindfulness, strengthen the mindfulness. So this all the text is related to that. So then, even our tranquility meditation, the very purpose of that is uplifting, strengthening the mindfulness. But there are a lot of meditation techniques, methods. It doesn't take you to that level, that path to develop the mindfulness. It may develop the concentration, but it doesn't develop the mindfulness. So this tranquility meditation and the Vipassana meditation, mainly, what is the difference in between other meditation techniques? This is the reason. It mainly go to the mindfulness, and through the tranquility meditation and the Vipassana meditation, it strengthens the mindfulness. And why you need the mindfulness? To see the beginning of the experience. So the very challenge when it comes to mindfulness is that undisturbed mind. So how then we can get out of this? How we can get out of the distractions? Because sometimes that if you not aware about the distraction, and go behind it and start to respond to that, what will happen by the time you get out of the mindfulness? Another thing is, if you resist the distraction, you fight with the distraction. If you don't like the distraction, this is very important because most of the time we don't like distraction. If you get mad, angry, disappointed regarding the distraction happen, you know what will happen? That distraction becomes stronger. So remember that. For then any reason from today, if you don't like something, just make it very limited to meditation. Then by the time you are capable to apply to any day-to-day life. So as example, newly born child. This is how you can apply it to your day-to-day life. I don't want to bring the names or the connection or the relationships to you. Okay. Just imagine newly born child, no any experience. And there is something that asks from you, and there is no any relationship to that, to you or them. And you resist. You say no. This child becomes stronger to get that from you. So your mind the same. So that's why there's no struggle, there's no fight. Don't go to fight with your mind. You lose the mindfulness. Whatever all other things will become stronger. So when it comes to distraction, how we can maintain it? So today I'm going to give you some little details. While you practice meditation, if there is a distraction happen, just recognize it as a distraction and observe it. And so the thing is this, that there are some people use a method, stay away from things. But when it comes to the very nature of the vipassana, you don't try to stay away from things, or you don't try to build up a barrier, you don't try to resist, you don't try to avoid things. The very nature of the sharp and clear mindfulness, you go into it and recognize. Because if you just imagine, if you don't go into it, how you can see the roots of it? So that's why. Then the right away, when the distraction happens, if you stay away from it or if you stop it, stopping doesn't mean it disappeared, or it doesn't mean it's going to go away. No. So then when a situation comes, just imagine there is a distraction, unpleasant feelings, unpleasant environment, the sound, sensation, and recognize it. So recognize it, and you recognize it as an unpleasant sensation. Don't react to it. Recognize it as an unpleasant sensation, notice it. And at the same time, see that before that unpleasant situation arise, how your thought used to be. See how your thoughts react to it. That is another thing. The sound came, it distracts you, and you recognize it as a sound. And before that sound came, your mind was okay. But once that sound appeared, the mind start to unbalance. So to what degree, what is the strength of that distraction? That is another thing to see, because some things, it make not that much distract, but sometimes we say don't let me get mad, don't make me mad. So the madness is kind of like you go sometimes, go beyond the limits. So that's mean in when we get distracted, it has a certain degrees. So then recognize the volume of the power of the distraction. And so that is one thing. Another thing is duration of the distraction. So this is all regarding the thoughts. So unpleasant sensation, the thoughts or the feelings, so how the duration of the thoughts. So now you aware, you not go with the thought, you aware about the thought. So that is the mindfulness. And how it ended, how long it lasts, and you aware about it. And the disappearance, you aware. So once you are capable to get these details regarding any distraction, you strengthen the mindfulness. So being with this all that we call the recognition is the awareness, and that out of that awareness, developing that knowingly part, you know it, and you observe it very carefully. And that is where you strengthen the mindfulness. So mindfulness is the primary, concentration is the secondary. You keep the concentration and see this concentration change. So as example, we concentrate to the breathing sensation. And now while you observing, then what happens suddenly, there is a sound comes, somebody open the door or shut the door very loudly. So then what happened, your concentration, you used to keep it towards the breathing. Now suddenly that distraction came. You concentrate to the thought of the distraction. Not go to the door or visualizing the door, wherever that door, the front or the back or the room. Don't visualize that. No. The thought arises regarding the distraction. That as example, why that he or she opened the door like that. It's a mostly kind of like arise as a conversation inside you, as words, that most of the distractions will respond in the beginning as words. So you focus to the words. So your focus was to the sensation. Now you focus to the words and see it. Don't interfere with that conversation. Preparation, mental preparation. So you focus to that and then see, as I mentioned, that the strength of the distraction, the duration, the volume. So like that details, how long it lasts. So like that you now you concentrate towards that. So your awareness towards your thoughts and recognizing it as a thought, and your awareness with the thought, and it is a distraction, knowingly the whole part is the mindfulness. So then your concentration, that your awareness, your focus can change something to something, something to something, but mindfulness going to be the same. So if you are capable to keep the mindfulness in the same level, knowingly that the awareness or the concentration, that the distraction arise that the moment by moment and go into one by one, then overall, by the time the power of the mindfulness going to become stronger. But the thing is, most of time, we don't know even regarding the mind. It is a kind of like a lost key. We don't know that mindfulness. We are more struggling with the concentration. We more focused to the awareness. We neglected the mindfulness part. So that's why we need to practice this. That's why we need to use some extra effort. It is inside you, but it's lost. Like sometimes, in your wallet, your pocket, your handbag, your key is there. Maybe you put some money, it is there. But for the moment, you can't get it. Then you take a few minutes to, you put some extra effort, strength, to look into it. And then you find it. So like that, the mindfulness is always there within us. But the thing is, it is not continuing. It breaks down, and sometimes it becomes stronger, sometimes it becomes so low, and sometimes it go here and there. So like that, it always go with thought. So now what we does, we collect this mindfulness together. So, and keep it in a same level. So once you have it, that is where you can go into the deeper level. So when it comes to that, in the beginning, that's why we practice our inhalation, exhalation as a primary mental object to sharp or strengthen our mindfulness. So in the beginning, just imagine we observe the inhalation, exhalation. And in the beginning, we recognize it. And that once you notice this as inhalation, this as exhalation, and at the same time, what happened? The beginning, the middle, and you observe, and this means arising part you can see, and then the strength of the inhalation or exhalation, the volume of the air of the inhalation, exhalation, for what degree and how long it. So kind of like you get this, all the details. And then one by one, when the inhalation happens, you become very limited to inhalation. When the exhalation happens, you become very limited to that exhalation. So like that, step by step, you develop it. But the thing is, our very purpose is not to just observe the inhalation, exhalation. Not to just be with the sensation. Not to recognize the pain or the sensation. But the point, because till we die, inhalation, exhalation happens. So if you settle down there, there's no point. So then you have to remember, when it comes to the very depth of the meditation, the very primary purpose of the meditation is developing the mindfulness. And for that, you use the concentration, and it can be one mental object, or you can use it to any mental object. So how you can do that? And that is where that whole day your life can be a meditation. The kind of like you always, any action, you be with the mindfulness. So then the actions change, then anytime, anywhere, you strengthening sharpening the primary part of your life. So that is mindfulness. So when it comes to that, the major that you may have heard the word hindrance. We have 5 hindrance. So one of the main way that get out of the hindrance, recognizing. So that's mean becoming mindful. So in any situation in your life, so from today, try to change your attitude regarding that we respond towards situations, because we think, I want to make life like this, like that. So there is no way that you can make a life. The life is already there. And life is already with you. Only thing is, using that everything, you can just make something happen. That's it. There's no that you can bring a very brand new method for the life. There's no. That's why sometimes maybe 100 years ago, somebody wrote, sang a song, and maybe it's kind of like about you. Had, read that, write a novel, and maybe it is kind of like your life story. So there is no that such a brand new way of life that you can bring. We have only bodily, verbally, mentally actions. These all actions come as a result of cause and effect. That causation is very similar to me, you, and everyone. There is no different causation going to happen to you. So then, as example, when you become happy, there are roots that you never saw. Only surface level, the reason, the outside layer you hold, and you say, oh, I am happy for this. But the very root came from the same road. So that's why in the Vipassana level, you are capable to go into that depth and see the very beginning of that, the feelings or the sensations or the experience. And then you recognize it is not something that independently, separately, with a certain identity only related to you. You recognize it comes as a result of many reasons. So that understanding will void the divorce you from claiming this is me. So sometimes we divorce from the husband, wife, we have a relationship, so like that. To build up a relationship to me, you hurt me, because of that I divorce you. But in the Vipassana level, you divorce from the identity or the idea of me, and then there is no way that no one can hurt you. No any situation can hurt you. So that's why that method based with the mindfulness. So then when it comes to the desire, when the desire arises, the same method, the way that you observe the inhalation, exhalation, you just recognize it, notice it. This is the desire. You don't need to resist it. Who you are to resist the mind? Look at the world. Look at your own life. Are you capable to resist anything? Are you capable to get out of any thoughts? Because it arises from you. That's mean that thoughts you. Then if it is you, then how you can get out of thoughts? And sometimes, you may think, oh, I am, I don't like anger, but I'm getting angry. So if you don't like the anger, you kind of like separate the anger from you. No, you are the anger. You are the happiness. You are the life. There is no such a thing called life and you separate. You are the life. And oh, I don't want to be worried. Oh, I am always worried. I don't. You are the worry. So once you recognize that, that is the one of the major breakthrough that happened in the human history during the Buddha's time out of his teachings. Once you recognize that, the whole diagram going to change inside us. Because now we think, oh, I am separate, this whole experience separate. No. So then when the desire arises, you become mindful. Notice it. And you recognize how the thoughts respond to that, how the thoughts change with the desire. Because before the desire arises, your thoughts were so calm, relaxed. Once the desire arises, now your thoughts become totally different. It's now like a wild animal. But before, you was a kind of like in the middle of the jungle, you know, thousand years ago, kind of like a ascetic yogi. You so calm, you know, and people, when they saw you, they thought, oh, you should be a monk, you know. But when you get mad, you know, the same people say, oh, you are like a demon, you know. So now you see the same thought, the same person, how the thought changed. And other thing is how degree that desire exists in you. Rather than responding, you just observe. And the volume of the strength or the power of the thoughts, how long it lasts. And then you will see. And the most of time, you don't believe that it's most of time only 20 seconds. And there is a book, you know, in that book, that name, I think it's called First 20 Seconds. In that research, what it tried to tell, keep your favorite books. If you like to play any instrument, keep it close to you. If you like to practice meditation, keep a cushion next to you. So like that, you set up the environment. And when the thought arises, in the very first 20 seconds, you have to respond to it. And then you can go. Why? And if there is a negative, unwholesome thought arises, somehow very first 20 seconds, if you are capable to manage it, you change from your life hell to heaven, you know. So it's a 20 seconds. But the thing is, this thought current take us. So there is a book, and try to find it and read it. It is very good. It is very important. Then you recognize that. And sometimes we make a big deal out of that, our thoughts, you know. So somehow when the desire arises, you see it and you observe it. And then you recognize it disappears. And then anger, aversion. And then when it arises, you recognize it. You don't go, oh, I'm angry now, I want to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you start to, you know, look into flowers, or start to do chanting, or not. Like, don't resist. Don't run away from it, because it is you. You can't run away from it. You observe, you become mindful. Oh, I am angry. And just see it. And maybe in the beginning, it becomes more powerful. You see that, because in the very subconscious mind is still you want to fight and you see it as a negative something. There's nothing called, this 5 hindrance not negative. Remember that. This is a very wrong way that we address the life. It is not negative. It is not bad. It is life. That's it. You know, that we have very dualistic mind, or right, wrong, good, bad. Look at the world. We know a lot of good things. You know, have we ever, you know, build up the good life or the good world around us? We know, we more than any other time in the human history, we know what is right and what is wrong. But look, it's all still around us. Why? Because we think this all the hindrance like bad. No, it is you. Only thing is just be mindful. And when it become mindful, you will see what will happen. It start to slow down. And keep observe. And Vyapada and the Tinamida, it's a kind of like, you know, the laziness, sloth and thought. When the laziness arises, observe, be mindful about it. And when the doubt arises, be mindful about it. Don't try to fight. So that way, be mindful about all the mental conditions. And see how your thoughts respond to that. To what degree, and what is the volume of the strength of that thought. So then what will happen? In the beginning, you observe it, and then you will see it will disappear. So in the middle of this observation, you didn't know from where it came, and you don't know where it goes. Okay, the desire, aversion, sloth and torpor, and the restlessness, doubt, those are the 5 hindrances. So you don't know from where it came, and you don't know where it went. But you experience it, and now you experience in whatever the moment. So then by the time what happened, you are capable to see. When the desire arises, you are capable to see. In the beginning, we just saw once it arises. But once the mindfulness becomes sharper, what happens? You are capable to see how it arises. And then when you are mindful, by the time what happens, you are capable to see before it arising. And at the same way, in the beginning, you just saw the desire arise, anger arise, and then disappear. You don't know what happened to that thought, but keep observe. So by the time when the mindfulness becomes sharp, you will see that disappearance means it settled down with something. That means it didn't completely vanish. It's somewhere. As example, you know, somebody, oh, I want this, I like this, I like this. So, well, like children, you know, when they cry, they want something. So then the desire arises, and then you give it to, okay, here. And then the child becomes so calm, your mind becomes so calm. And then you think it disappeared. It gone. It didn't go. It settled down with dissatisfaction. So that's why this 5 hindrances mean it not come from somewhere. It is you. It is your head to toes, your each and every atom, each and every body, that all the muscles, the bones, the blood means your 5 hindrances. It's there. It always turning to one thing, it's go here and there, synchronizing each other. And it transforms to desire. And when the desire is arise and the aversion is settled down, But when the desire is not settled down with the satisfaction, what happened? Then the aversion is there itself, and then it comes. And then the sloth and the sleepiness, tiredness, and you struggle, get angry, mad, it doesn't work. And then, lethargic mind comes. And maybe when the desire arises and the anger arises and you can't keep the balance, and the restlessness go here and there, jump here and there, and so many things happen. It's the same thing. And sometimes the doubt, when the desire arises, or the aversions arise, the sloth and arise, the busyness arise, you can't see things very clearly, and the doubt is there. So like that, the 5 hindrance means your body. So rather than resisting, that's why when you observe, you will see it go from one thing to another, one thing to another. It's like a circle. There is no disappearance. It's transformed to something. And once you recognize that, what happened when the mindfulness becomes sharper, stronger, clear, by the time these 5 hindrance, you start to see the connection and the arising and disappearance. And again and again, when you see it and without responding to it, what happens? It starts to settle down, weaker, weaker, weaker. It's like in the beginning, it's now go like a circle, 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 because each and everything interconnected and get strengthened each other. And then by the time it become like a one line. So it used to be like a circle, it become kind of like a one line. So that is where your tranquility state settled down. That means you have the undisturbed mind. You don't get unbalanced. So once you have it, you are capable to recognize, experience within yourself, and at the same time regarding others, how things arise and the reason, and the behind that, what are the roots. And once you know that all, that is what called you know about you. Because as example, remember, this all 5 hindrances is you. You now you know that what it is. So you know the very roots of you. And when the thoughts come, you know the root, the very foundation of that. And when things disappear, you know where it went and where it is. And once you know that clarity within yourself, that is what called you know about everything. So what is that everything mean? Everything means this head to toes, this body. Once you know that, another everything, that means other outside things. And now you know how things arise from you and how it is happening in you and how it is that settle down in you. And then when you see somebody, you are capable to see the same thing in that person. That is where you know that person. That one, you know this everything and you know that everything. And once you know that, there's nothing to know. So that is itself called the wisdom or the liberation. So with that, let's get into practice now. So now you know, so whatever thoughts arise, whatever disturbances arise, as a primary technique, we stay with the inhalation, exhalation. But remember, so whatever distractions arise, slowly start to recognize it and understand and watch that. It is not that outside. Remember, You watch your thought. Distraction happen inside the thought, inside you, not the when the door shut down with the door. No, it's already gone. Not with the sound. It's already see, it's disappearing. It cannot be solid. There is nothing in this universe. The moon, the sun, this any planets or anything. There is nothing going to be there like that. It's all changing. But once it come to here, it can be forever. No, eons by eons it can carry. So that's why you observe and how this is happening here. And see that sound already gone, but still you can remember that. No, so that remembering part you observe. So like that, whatever the disturb happen, don't focus to outside and see how your thoughts respond, and then keep the as a center your inhalation exhalation. Once it disappear, you come back, and then you may get another sound, and you observe and recognize, don't resist, and see the volume of your thoughts and for how degree and for how long. And then once it disappear, you come back to breathing and you start to observe. And maybe then another sound comes. You go with it, and then you recognize the volume of sound and how how your mind responded. Maybe for the before that sound, this sound is more better for you, more you are comfortable. So volume of the degree, the thoughts, and how long it lasts, and you again settle down with the breathing. So like that, your mind always go behind the 5 hindrance. Remember that. And somehow you recognize it, settle down, stay. If you don't recognize anything, stay with the inhalation, exhalation. But suddenly, if you get disturbed, distract, recognize it. Recognize it means not go with the outside object, the way you respond with your thoughts, and then observe and come back. So let's get into practice now. So your right palm on your left, naked, straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Swapatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. And whatever distraction happen, see how your thoughts respond to that. And once it disappears, again come back to your inhalation, exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times, please, and find the sensation. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And keep the mindfulness towards whatever experience come to you, and keep follow the sensation of inhalation, exhalation. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as a light as far as you can. Expand the capacity. To your back side. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chami sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhamma nudhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjisami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless.